Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video I want to talk about accredited PhD programs and doctorates, particularly within business administration. So I'm just going to sort of pose the question and wonder whether accreditation actually matters. So for some of you that are thinking of going and getting a doctorate or a PhD, you're probably looking at the accreditation of the program. And this is an appropriate thing to do. However, I want you to think about this in a different way. So before I go, you should probably know that I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. I created this whole reciprocity platform to give back as much as I possibly can to other people and to create sort of a system where you can get peer feedback on your different work. So with that being done, should you actually look at the accreditation of the program that you are applying for? I think maybe a more appropriate question that you should be considering is whether, if you're actually looking at the accreditation of a PhD program, should you even consider that program? I think that's maybe a more appropriate thing to think about. If you have any reserves about that particular program, it's maybe a really strong signal that maybe it is not the program for you, or maybe you can consider that program, or maybe go into maybe some other ways to think about that. So here's the reason why. So the reason why you're looking at the accreditation is to judge the quality of the program. That's a really important thing, right? So accreditation, that's all they do. They ensure that there is industry standards, right? So you're abiding by these particular standards. Doesn't matter what if you're in industry for manufacturing, they have their own accreditation stuff, QS 9000, ISO 9000, all of these different programs. And then whether they are, so you have these standards that you've written down, that you sort of said that you're going to abide by those standards, and then whether you're actually continuously improving and recording the performance of your particular firm or your particular institution. And if you're doing all of that, then you warrant a seal of approval. Every once in a while you do get checked from external advisors or people that will just come in and check to make sure you're abiding by all of that stuff. But basically that's all it's doing, is suggesting to other people that you have quality, or that your program is of a certain sufficient amount of quality. Now, I think a more appropriate thing that you should be considering about and thinking about, rather than whether it is accredited. Accredited is very good. Accreditation is a very good system at the institution level, or for the administrators of the university, so like the dean and all of those folks, the people that are running the university or the college, the business school, whatever you're looking at. They are worried about accreditation. That's a really good signal. That means that they're worried about their program, and they are trying to make sure that things are standardized and that they're abiding by some universal standards, right? Or they're abiding by their own standards, and they are making sure that they're continuously improving. But what you should probably looking for those of you that are applying for different PhD programs, or going into academia, or going into graduate school, whatever it is that you're thinking about, is not necessarily the accreditation, but the reputation of the school. The reputation of the school is basically whether you actually ask somebody, and it's somebody on the street or somebody in a particular sort of field that they're interested in, whether they actually know that school, whether they've actually heard of it, and whether it actually matters, right? So that's an important thing to think about. And if any of those answers are no, then it is a strong signal that you probably are pursuing an institution that may not be the best institution for you. But I'm going to suggest that maybe a caveat going forward. So you really just should be thinking about whether the quality of the program is signaling to other people that this is, if this is good enough, right? So that's basically what you're looking for, is whether it actually has a reputation that other people, that you would be proud of that you actually attended that school. There's a couple of things why you might want to look at the reputation versus, the accreditation, right? So basically, when you go to university or go to any school, really what you're looking for is three sort of factors, right? The things that you're going to gain from going to university or going to graduate school, getting a business degree, whatever it is that you're thinking of, getting a mathematics degree, a philosophy degree, a science degree, doesn't matter, is you're looking for the contacts and relationships that you're going to gain. So the contacts in the cohort, for example, are those people that are in that program, are they truly amazing people? And if the answer is yes, if they're truly amazing people, you're going to benefit tremendously from that, right? You're going to, not only during the program, they're going to sort of push you a little bit higher than what you could normally, right? If you're scared to go into the program because everybody else looks like geniuses, then that's a good sign because you're going to be pushed to go to the next level. And not only that, once you're out, you can rely on those contacts in that network to get different positions, for example, or maybe it is that you're going to, I don't know, you might rely on them somehow for resources in the future, whether it's getting jobs, whether it is maybe getting financing, you're starting some startup, right? You can ask those people because those people are probably, if they're that good that you're scared of them, that you're nervous to be around them, then that means that they are probably going to be world leaders, right? Or they're going to be leaders in their domain in the future, right? That's an important thing. The second thing that you should be looking at for a reputation is, or a school that has reputation, is that it signals quality to other people. This is an important thing. Michael Spence, years ago, I think, I'm not sure now, but a few years ago I checked. I think he was a graduate school. He was involved in Stanford's program there. Whether he was the dean of the graduate school program, I can't remember where he is, but anyways, he had this really brilliant idea that suggested that, school itself doesn't necessarily mean that there is anything that you're going to get from that, right? But it's the fact that you actually did that school that it signals quality to other people, right? That you met a certain standard to get into that particular program, that you applied yourself, that you actually passed and got through that coursework. That's a really important signal to other people, to potential employers or whoever it is, right? That you are good enough. And that's a really important thing to think about. So those two things are very important. The contacts and relationships you're going to get, the signaling sort of quality that you're going to get. And then the third thing that is, the third thing that most people, I think about when they think about an education is just the quality of the training, right? And the quality of training is going to vastly differ from program to program simply because, if you go to a program where there is people that are at the state of the art and that people are sort of paying attention to all of the latest trends and stuff, they're going to tell you where the field is going to go in 10 years from now. That's an important thing if you are deciding to go into something. Whereas somebody that is maybe in a lagging school or a lagging institution, they're going to tell you where everything is currently at this moment or what has been there in the past. That's a big thing to consider, right? So you want to go to a program that is not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like the state of the art, right? But you want to go to a program that can get you contacts and relationships. That's an important thing to think about. The second thing is that it's signaling a level of quality. And then the third thing is that it's training you to where the field or whatever you're interested in, right? Where it is going in the future. It's not where it's been, but where it's going in the future. That's a really important thing to signaling for graduate school. And, when I was doing, for example, when I was doing my engineering school, they were talking about all these kind of really interesting things of where the field was going to go. Chemical engineering was going to be in like 10 years, or they're talking about these really weird things. I was like, what is that, right? What are nanotubes, for example? What is nanotechnology? it seems like a really crazy thing, but in 10, 15 years from there, this is actually a legitimate thing, right? Like nanotechnology is a big thing. It's a big growing industry at this moment, right? So that's what you're looking for, is where you're going to go in the future. So with that, here's my caveat, right? So you want to think about, if you don't necessarily, if the career that you're going into, so for example, maybe it is a particular industry, or maybe it is maybe some type of job or something like that, that doesn't matter as much, and you're just looking for a sufficient level of skill, then it doesn't matter where you go to, right? That is a key thing. And really, there's a lot of different programs that are a lot of different careers or things that you can do that really doesn't matter. But if you're going to places where reputation matters, or you're going to do a career where reputation matters, then you might want to consider the reputation of the school rather than accreditation of the school. Because accreditation, there's a lot of different sort of ways to, there's lots of different kind of accreditations that you can get. It's a muddier signal, I think, in terms of helping you go forward than the reputation of the program that you're looking at. And that's where you have to judge whether the reputation of the program is actually worth the cost, because there is a cost that you're paying for, or you're paying for the reputation sometimes of going to that particular institution. So you have to sort of make that judgment call. You can watch, I'm going to put out a video tomorrow where I'm going to go into some of these kind of details of how to maybe sort of judge that going forward. So that's all I wanted to talk about. If you're interested in going to graduate school, what you're looking for is, are these like people that are in the program? Are they people that are at the state of the art? Are they going to push you to get to a higher level? Are they going to be very supportive and kind so that you can actually get to the next level, but rigorous enough that they're going to sort of be on your case to make sure that you're going forward, and whether there actually is some stars in the particular program that you're going for. So in academia, you're looking for academic stars. So people that are publishing a lot, for example, or doing really creative and interesting things, that's really what you're looking for with a program. And that's going to help you go forward, sort of make probably a more appropriate choice for the PhD or Doctorate of Business Administration program that you should consider. So that's it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. It does help me, because then I start making more videos like this. And do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.